Hello everybody, it's James Hamer with the Android Post, and today we are reviewing the Huawei Ascend Mate 2. Let's get started. The Ascend Mate 2 is manufactured by Huawei, which is a extremely popular phone manufacturer and just general brand in China and in some of those countries around China. They are one of the top unlocked phone manufacturers in America. And if you don't know what an unlocked phone is, it's instead of buying a phone from AT&T and being stuck on AT&T, you buy it from the manufacturer, and you can use it on any carrier, as long as, like on any GSM carrier or something like that, so that you're not stuck with one carrier. So I'm using it with AT&T right now, because that's just the carrier that I have and that I put the SIM in for. And, yeah, so next, right now, we're going to talk about the design, then specs, then the value, like what I think about it in the end, the overall view of the device. Yeah, let's get started. So now we're going to talk about design. The design of the device, it's a very large phone. It's all plastic except for obviously the front, because that's glass. It's Gorilla Glass 3, I'm pretty sure. It has, according to Gorilla Glass, I don't know what iteration of Gorilla Glass it is, but it's Gorilla Glass, so that's going to have some increased strength, so that when you drop it or try to scratch it with a key, or if it's in your pocket with keys, it's going to be very resistant to those forces. So this phone, like I said, is all plastic, but it still feels very solid in the hand. It's not going to, slip out of your hand. It's very grippy. It's not that slippery of a back. And it's very solid. The only thing that's not very solid is the screen, just because it's so large. You can kind of see, how do I go like this? You can kind of see the screen's a little, how do I say this, bendy almost, because it's just so large that it's hard to support all this screen space in such a large device. You'll get that with a lot of large phones, unless you have a screen protector on, which I do not on this. Now, it's all plastic around here. Just the these three buttons. If I can focus on there. Yep, these three buttons. So the power down and up, volume down, volume up. There's no other buttons anywhere else, none in the front. It's all on-screen buttons. So this home, back, and the recent apps. Then we have on the bottom a micro USB and a microphone, a 3.5mm headphone jack, and another microphone. On the front up here we have the earpiece for when you're on a call. That's where you're here from. Some light sensors, a 5-megapixel front-facing camera, which is very nice for taking some selfies or whatever. On the back we have a 13-megapixel shooter. It's a very nice camera. It's a little laggy, so it's not very stable when you're moving around taking the shot. So if you're videoing, it's kind of shaky and unstable. This is the flash, Huawei logo. Then a little speaker grill right here. It's little, but it's very powerful. It's decently loud for the size. Again, so this is plastic back, which means that we can remove it, which I will do in a second. Actually, I'll just do that right now. So you can see, it's back there. It may sound like it's breaking, but it's just opening. There's a lot of little hooks in here. Okay, so now we can see here the speaker right there, and it's under this little grill thing. This is the battery, non-removable, but it's 4,050 milliamp hours, which is a very powerful battery. It lasts for days. I got 2 days with 50% battery left, which is crazy with moderate usage. That's just unheard of with these smartphones now. We have a SD card slot. I have a 32 gig SD card in there, which it can support up to 64. And I have a SIM card, you can see right there, that just slides in. Then again, flash, camera. Yes, and okay, let's put this back on. Now that's all I really have to say about the design of the device. It's very well designed. I like it a lot. It feels very solid in the hand. It's nice and heavy. It's actually 202 grams, which is about 7.13 ounces. Now, it is kind of on the big side, like I said earlier. It's 6.34 inches tall, 3.33 inches wide, and 0.37 inches thick. It is kind of a thick phone, but I guess that's what you get. I have to sacrifice thickness for a large battery, so I think it's worth it. I don't mind it being thick and large. The battery life is amazing. So now we're going to get into the performance of the device. The Mate 2 runs a kind of old Android 4.3 Jelly Bean. I was talking to one of the guys that works at Huawei, and he was saying that they're skipping 4.4 and going straight to Lollipop in the first half of this year, so first half of 2015. So we should see it soon on the Huawei devices, which is going to look great on. I'm really excited to get that. The phone runs, it has a Snapdragon 400 quad-core 1.6 GHz Cortex A7, which on paper should not be that powerful, but it ends up being pretty powerful, and I'll show you in a second what I mean by that. It has a Adreno 305. It has 2 gigs of RAM, 16 gigabytes internal storage, and yeah, so I talked about the camera. So it's 5 megapixels in the front, 13 on the back. It has some basic features on the back, like geotagging, face detection, HDR, and panorama. It has just some of the other basic things. Like I said, again, the massive, massive battery. They say up to 25 hours of talk time on 3G. Yeah, so now I'm going to show you some of what I mean by this processor is not that bad when you actually use it. I mean, on paper, yes, it is supposed to be bad, but it ends up not being that bad. So if I were just to go through some apps real quick, so Instagram loads pretty well. I mean, there's no lag switching through these apps. So we'll go Twitter, that's kind of large, that's a lot of content. But you see there's 0. I'll go to Gmail, 0 lag. Play Store, Home, go here, and it just closes them all out. And it's really impressive because I compared it to my Galaxy S4, and it destroyed it. It took, to open up all these apps on the front screen, so these 12 apps, or minus this little folder right here, but minus that and Uber, so what's that, 5, 4, and 4. So to open up that many apps, compared to the, to open up those 12 apps, compared to the S4 opening up the same 12 apps, it only took this 42 seconds and took the S4 57, which is actually a big difference when you think about it, because obviously the S4 is meant to be a lot faster and more powerful. I mean, it's a Samsung device. It's a premium, flagship device. It's meant to be, fast and powerful and not lag behind something that costs half as much. But yeah, see, the S4 it has 2 gigs of RAM. It's like pretty much the same thing, but has a faster processor. So, I mean, I'll have a video coming up in like the next day or two about comparing the two, so just a little speed test. And yeah, so now let's get on to the to what I think about it, and like my overall thoughts of this behemoth of a device. So now we're going to talk about how much I think how worth buying this device really is. So at an extremely low price, at only $300 for a device this large and this powerful, I think is a great deal. You know, just, you're not locked into any contract. You can use any service that you want. You could switch out between services. You could have, you know, if you're traveling, you could just swap out the SIMs, which you cannot do on a locked phone like an iPhone or a Galaxy S4 or S5 or Note, any of those, unless you buy them unlocked, which they range from $600 to $1,200 unlocked. This is only $300. So if you aren't, you know, a huge gamer, if you don't like playing games on your phone, you just like playing simple games like 8-ball pool or hill climb racing, the tower, any of those fingers, all those games run perfectly smoothly on these phones, on this phone, and you'll see no lag, none of that, just a great gaming experience. But if you're going to run these big, like, meaty games, then don't buy this phone. This is not a phone for you. You'll get a lot of lag, and it'll be a waste of money for you. You should go for phones like the Note 4, the G3, the G Flex 2, all those new flagship phones from Samsung and LG really can get the job done for you if you like that. But for me, I don't play those games. This is a great phone for me. It's large. It's great for watching videos on YouTube. Again, no lag there. And Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and web browsing is all I really do. So it's a great device if that's what you do. And yeah, so I'll see you next time. Have a great day.